Welcome to Boness Veterinary Hospital and Clinic. It is the goal of all of us here at our veterinary hospital to provide the highest standard of medical and surgical care to all our patients who so enrich the lives of their families and our friends. That's our mission statement, and it describes how all my staff feel about their role and responsibility to their patients and to you, our clients and friends.
Boness Veterinary Hospital, based at Barton and Flitwick, provides first-class medical treatment for the pets of mid-Bedfordshire. In this feature, we take a conducted tour of their extensive medical facilities and services.
I set up the practice single-handed in 1990, and I realised my childhood dream of being a veterinary surgeon and having my own practice of a very high standard, but within a small rural community, so that I could become part of that community. In 1994, the hospital was built for us, and we moved into the premises there, and we've had 2 extensions on the hospital since then. Over the years, we've grown to the size of 38 members of staff now. We have 8 vets and 12 qualified veterinary nurses, 4 trainee nurses, and about 10 reception and administration staff who help support the clinical staff.
I find it a really rewarding job actually. I especially enjoy looking after our critical care patients within the kennels, but I also get great satisfaction from doing the theatre jobs and the surgical nursing side as well.
I started here as a trainee. I've stayed on as a qualified veterinary nurse, and I don't think I would ever find another practice where we've got such highly qualified colleagues, amazing equipment.
Quite often we sit down, discuss difficult cases, give each other ideas, and then that does help you solve almost any problem.
I work mainly in small animal medicine, and I work mainly at Flitwick, which is a branch practice to Barton Le Clay. But we all the vets do shifts at Flitwick and at Barton.
The client and the pet initially is greeted by the receptionist, and the receptionist makes sure we have all the correct details both about the pet and about the client should we need to contact them again in an emergency.
I think the main role for a receptionist at Boness is to interact with the clients and be the first point of contact for them.
The client and pet get called in by the nurse in the first instance, and the nurse will do the basic examination, take the temperature, do the blood pressure, all the things that you would expect of a human nurse.
Do you have any other worries with him at all?
No, he's quite nice at the moment, yeah, he's doing well.
That's what we'd like to hear.
Are you ready for the lecture on?
Then the vet comes into the room and will do a full detailed examination of your pet. We call it the 12 body system examination from top to tail. And the nurse will be taking the details down of what the vet is saying at that stage.
And dry nose, and so he's been on antibiotics, and that's good, and it's not red anymore.
No, that looks much better, doesn't it?
And here, Bentley the cat is being prepared for some cosmetic dental work as well as a much-needed tooth extraction.
Just putting a throat pack in here. This is just to absorb any excess fluid that comes from the dental descaler. This tooth's actually quite loose, so that's going to have to come out. That's a big pile of them. There we go, and that's the tooth out. We can see the root all intact there.
Within a very short space of time, Bentley is up and about and seems unaffected by his small op.
We have a very well equipped laboratory where we can process blood samples, fecal samples, urine samples, and also little biopsy samples. And the beauty of having our own laboratory on site means that we can actually process the samples very, very quickly. So if we have a critical case, we can have the information we need to hand within as little as 2 hours.
We have a lot of technology in our practices, both medical and IT related, and telephone systems, and all of these have to work seamlessly together all the time so that we maintain a high standard of service to clients and a high standard of care for our patients.
There are state-of-the-art X-ray facilities at the hospital at Barton, helping to give Boness staff accurate information about a patient's condition.
looks like this is the hip where the problem is, doesn't it?
In addition to x-rays, the surgery has a modern scanning facility as well.
Romeo has been booked in for the operation that most men hate to talk about, which is castration. And he had his pre-med injection about half an hour ago. Do you want to put the mask on for me?
Julia prepares Romeo for that routine cat operation, which will mean that in the future he'll no longer be able to live up to his name.
About to make an incision into the scrotum here, and out pops the little offending article that we're about to remove.
Across the courtyard, Boness has a state-of-the-art hydrotherapy facility, which offers rehabilitation therapy that is already well proven in human post-op treatment. Jasper here is no stranger to the pool. The water buoyancy helps take some of the strain out of vital exercise needed to aid muscular growth or redevelopment.
Jasper would do a couple of minutes sort of warm-up walking, and then he'd increase into a trot, and he usually has 3 to 4 sessions of about 5 to 7 minutes. His maximum he's been doing is about 7 minutes on each session, having short breaks in between as well.
We also treat a wide range of exotics, mostly the rabbits for vaccinations and neutering, as well as guinea pigs, hamsters and other small furries, and we also see a wider range of tortoises and other reptiles.
Some years ago the female tortoise Tubby developed an ear abscess, and no other vet wanted to actually operate on the tortoise. We brought them to Julia, and Julia said that she would operate and give it treatment. Nobody else at that time was interested in reptiles. Just go home and let it die. The treatment was actual surgery to the ear, cut out and remove the abscess. The treatment was very good. The tortoise responded very well, and she seems to be okay.
The other more common exotic pet for a small animal vet to deal with now are backyard chickens, and we have 2 vets who've done a great deal of further education on chicken medicine.
In the medical field as well as in the veterinary field, it's very important to get new ideas, especially with difficult cases. So in this practice it's quite handy having people who are skilled in different areas.
Well, I think we're getting much more involved with the diet of the animals, because I think weight has become an issue. I think because people do treat the animals like a member of the family, and they are. And so they want to be pampered, and that is something we do have to watch quite often.
In the main operating theatre, Julia is using a laparoscope to see inside her patient without the need for invasive and traumatic surgery. Just like a modern hospital for humans, Boness is able to use high-tech equipment like this, and recordings from the scope's tiny camera are often made as the operation proceeds.
This is a bit like trying to tap your head and rub your tummy, because you've got to have 2 hands and a foot coordinated, and the other one's just hopefully keeping your balance. We are the only Royal College of Veterinary Surgeons approved veterinary hospital in the county, and one of the great things about that means that we have to have a vet and a nurse on site overnight to make sure that if your animal is really sick and sadly needs hospitalisation, we then have somebody there looking after them and observing them in as much detail as they would be during the day.
So what are the experiences of Boness clients? How do they feel about the treatment their much-loved pets actually get?
The thought was that this little fellow had a bit of a heart complaint. Julia, the main vet, never gives up on a dog, never gives up on any sort of animal. The care spreads right across all the vets and all the nurses. Although it's quite costly, you know, he gets the best of attention, and the practice here makes sure that he's checked about every month now.
Well, brought Ben down, took him into the treatment room, and the vet came and had a look at him, went over him with a fine tooth comb really, had a good look at him and worked out quite quickly that he was suffering from stress, which is, looking at him now, you wouldn't think. But we'd had a house full of dogs that weekend, including a puppy, and they thought that that's what had freaked him out, just the fact that the dogs were running around the house. So yeah, we had a great time with the staff. They looked after him beautifully.
Beady came to me from rescue, about 9-10 weeks old. Unfortunately, I went away on holiday, and at 5 months old he was attacked by a German Shepherd, and it badly bit his elbow and ruptured sort of ligaments in his right shoulder. And as soon as I got him to do agility, which is a very full-on sport for a dog, I was really worried, and I brought him into Julia, and she dealt with the wound. And then in the next 18 months he still carried on limping, so Julia brought in her needles and he had acupuncture. And we had 6 treatments, and after the 6th treatment he was sound. And I was able to take him to agility training, and from then on we've never really looked back. In agility there are 7 grades, starting at 1 and ending at 7, and championships. If you win a 7 you can go on to represent England. Beady is now grade 6. He's got 2 more wins to get to grade 7. He's been very good.
Patient records are kept on our practice management system and available to all our staff 24/7. But obviously an important feature of that is security, to make sure that other people don't have access to that. When necessary, we can send information to other practices around the world, to specialist surgeons if necessary, and of course we have personalised patient reports for individual clients which we can send to them on email or print them out on paper.
In addition to the medical practice in Barton, there's also a grooming and beauty salon right next to the Flitwick surgery. Smarty Paws ensures that pets are given the complete beauty makeover.
Hello, Truman. You good boy. Hello. Right, how would you like it done today?
I'd like it short all over and round head.
Okay. So what we'll do is, we'll go about half the length off, and then I'll just tidy this up, get a cute little round head, and just shorten up his fringe here, yeah? Sort of lower down, which makes it easier for us to sort of put them on. If we have dogs that we really struggle with, I've got nurses downstairs that I can call on for a second pair of hands, but generally we can cope really well. Because I've worked as a nurse for 9 years prior to this, I'm quite used to handling all sorts of dogs. The soap is okay in their eyes, but we obviously try and avoid it because it's not going to be overly pleasant for them. And watch them for shaking, because that absolutely soaks me with a dog of this size. We also do cats and rabbits, guinea pigs, and even tortoises as well.
One of Boness's free services is the weekly puppy party, where owners get advice and help with the complicated process of rearing young dogs and ensuring they're kept in prime condition. And that's another busy day for the Boness team, caring for and curing people's much-loved pets.
The client comes in and says the problem's completely solved, and they're happy, and the animal's happy, and I am happy as well.
I love the people that I work with, and I like that we represent what I think is such a good, veterinary hospital.
I think the standards here are better than any other in the area.
I think we look into really providing the best customer care possible we can, and I like to think we also provide a high standard of care for our patients.
Well, I think the population locally has got a lot larger, and it is rather nice to have the vet close to you, just drop in, pick up medications, things like that.
And it's nice actually just seeing them progress, coming in poorly but actually going home and getting better, and then when the clients thank you as well, it just makes you feel really good.
Boness Veterinary Hospital continues to provide the most up-to-date medical care for pets of all shapes, sizes and breeds. With surgeries in Barton and Flitwick, Boness is at the heart of animal welfare in central Bedfordshire and continues the development of its modern and extensive facilities.
My vision for the future is to remain at the forefront of pet healthcare in Bedfordshire.